Hello everyone, this is Alex the Blue Man, and this is the very first time this year where it's just me talking and not doing gameplay. But I just want to take a moment to talk to you guys over what I am doing or even thinking about. Before I get that out of the way, I just want to say, as you can hear, I'm in my family's living room right now. Couldn't use my room like I always do, because my brother, at right now, is just playing Kingdom Hearts 3. But I just want to get this out of the way. I have finally finished Final Fantasy VII Remake, so this is actually going to be technically two videos combined into one. For in the second part, I will talk about my overall thoughts on the game itself. Usually, I talk about my thoughts on a game at the end of a playthrough, but due to how mind-blown and shocked I was at the end of this game, I couldn't even make up my mind at the time. Like, it was just all over the place. So with that said, let's talk. So first off, I am very well aware of a lot of things going on so far this year. From rumors of World War III starting, to the pandemic that is still happening at this very moment, and finally the beauty community running amok due to all the buzz YouTubers Jeffree Star and one I don't want to say the name of got into recently. I will say only one thing, and just one thing, because I don't want to go full detail on those events. I just hope that all of you are staying safe, staying healthy, and staying hopeful that all of this will end soon. I don't know how or when, but as they say, some things don't last forever. And also, hopefully 2021 will be a much better year. But still, such a terrible way to start off the new decade. Not only that, and this is for me personally, but I now have to wait for another few months for Godzilla vs. Kong to come out. It was supposed to be one thing that can make this year better in my opinion, but now it is postponed to May 21st of next year. And in terms of movies, not much is waiting for me this year, other than video games. Like, I have little to no more interest in seeing much of the future Marvel movies, except for maybe Morbius and Venom 2. Both also got postponed to next year or so. So yeah, all that sounds pretty bad. But to balance all that out, on the bright side of this, in my perspective, I can at least save some more cash. So all of that has been teaching me how to budget, and I have some more time to catch up on games that I haven't played yet on my channel. Like, I'm still yet to play games that I currently have, which are Resi 3, Days Gone, Death Stranding, and now recently, Persona 5 Royal and Ghost of Tsushima. I may add Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order onto the list, but I'm not sure yet. With the upcoming PlayStation 5 announced for winter, it can be a hassle for me to get all those games out of the way before then. Or even one out of the way for that matter, because Persona 5 Royal is a really long game, and it is an expanded edition of the original Persona 5, and that is already long on its own. But in most cases, I'm the type of person who, depending on the situation, would like to take his time on things. Unless it's chores. Moving on to another topic, for movie reviews, so far I have only seen 2 movies this year, before the pandemic thing started, which were Sonic and Onward. But I haven't gone around to talk about them yet, mainly because gaming has turned to more of my main content on this channel. I still have bad memories over the movie community, but in the future I will try to get those reviews done. In fact, I even pre-recorded my commentary for my Onward review, so it's 3/4 away from being done. As for Sonic, not even close, unfortunately. Since the movies that are supposed to be released this year are either postponed or released on demand, at least I have some material to get done in that apartment. And one more thing, for those of you who haven't followed my Instagram, the week before or so was actually my birthday. I recently turned 22, so thank goodness I'm still young. So not much for me to talk about there, but I will show you this. This is definitely my dream cake, right here. One last thing I want to say, I am planning to do a month-long series on my channel this December, and I am going to call it DLC month. It's where I take some contents of some games I've already played and play them throughout the month. Whether or not I make this a regular thing every December, it depends on how this December will go. Also, I would show myself how much I have improved since the years 2017 and 2018. Alright, with all that's out of the way, it is time to talk about my overall thoughts on Final Fantasy VII Remake. So, major spoilers for those who haven't played the game yet. And keep in mind, I'm actually playing it a second time on like a New Game Plus to check out some extra stuff that I've missed. So, like I said at the beginning of the playthrough, I have never played the original Final Fantasy VII, so this is coming from the perspective of a person who only know of some of the characters through Kingdom Hearts. Also, I played some Crisis Core, so that helps me a bit. As a whole, I really love this game. I really enjoyed its storyline, its gameplay, and some of the bonus stuff. Like the squat challenges, the pull-up challenges, the combat challenges, the virtual summon battles, and the whack-a-box challenges. There's a lot of challenge sections in this game, I will say. As for the characters, the main group stands out the most. I cannot choose which character I enjoyed the most because that's how much I love seeing them being on the screen. Well, especially Aerith. I think seeing her here, combined with Kingdom Hearts, Crisis Core, and the Advent Children movie, she still has that angelic vibe built into her, like a light in someone's darkness. For example to that, let's take Kratos from God of War. You would have him meet Aerith, and he can see how he will find new purpose in life, than vengeance and violence. I know that sounds like cruddy fanfiction, but between the original games and the new God of War game, I think it might work for how Kratos became a different, more wiser person. Also, it'd still be epic to see him go up against the likes of Sephiroth. If I had to pick one moment I did not enjoy as much as the rest of the game, it would have to be the Wall Market segment. I did enjoy going through the Colosseum challenges, but one moment I cringed, and I felt sorry for Cloud when he was forced to cross-dress in order to infiltrate Corneo, the pig's mansion for answers. I know that's how that went in the original game, but still, it just gives me the cringe factor. Another thing I like about this game is how it gives these characters, Biggs, Wedge, and Jesse, more to do compared to the original. Because, as I heard from the original, they only appear for the first few hours in a 2 to 3 disc long game. Here, you'll even learn more of them, like Biggs being a think first, act later type of person and having a bit of OCD. The game gives me a hint. Wedge wanting to be more useful and having love for cats, to Jessie wanting to be an actress, but her father suffered in a coma. I actually grow to like that trio. They're basically the Twilight Town trio of the game. Biggs is Hayner, Wedge is Pence, and Jessie is Olette. That's how I viewed them as. I do care for them, really, and I was saddened that they passed on during Chapter 12. Well, Wedge actually survived until the end of Chapter 17. Another thing is, after playing the game twice, there was one scene that changed for me, and it is during Chapter 14. When Cloud sees a character sneaking out of Aerith's house, in my first try, it was Aerith's, like, Force Ghost, or something, and then in the second time, it was Tifa. I believe I must have triggered the Tifa scenario in Chapter 10 in the sewers. When Cloud has to choose to check on either Tifa or Aerith when they were sent through the trapdoor by the pig. So that was a neat feature, though I did feel dirty when I didn't check on Aerith the second time. Okay, here is what I thought on the ending. Oh wow, it just blows my mind. You know the ghost things that I call hollows? They're actually there to make sure that the characters stay in their destined path. Like, it leaves me in some theories that everyone who have finished the game were talking about. Like Aerith knowing of the journey and the Hollows wanting to make sure nothing can be altered. So after beating, like, the Hollow King, that's what I'm going to call it, the group just defied fate. And with that, like, it created an alternate timeline where Zack survived his destined fate in Crisis Core, and even Biggs survived. There is even more hints coming from Sephiroth that he knows the supposed future and his fate. It actually leaves me wanting to see more. And also, it leaves me question more, like, did Wedge and Jesse survive too? Will some things change? Will Zack be part of the journey in the future? Only time will tell in a potential part 2, and I can't wait to see what happens next. Okay, those are my overall thoughts on the game's key moments. For scoring, I think I'll give the game a 9.3 out of 10 as a whole. My only gripe is the wall market segment, and also some of the side quests are but overall it did not stop me from loving this game. In my opinion, it is Game of the Year. The characters are as iconic as they should be. The combat gameplay, it is fun to play. The boss battles are challenging in a good way, and the bonus stuff are also fun to do. So sorry about this extra long talk video, but this is what happens when I update really late within the year. And speaking of updates, I picked up a new video schedule in terms of gaming. So I'll be uploading them every 6 days a week. Saturdays will be my off day, Sundays it will be at 12:30 p.m., and weekdays it will be at 6:30 p.m. One thing I learned this year is to be more consistent, unlike last year. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for taking the time watching, and join me next time for my Let's Play on Resi 3. Don't forget to like this video, and as usual, I hope you all have a great, glorific day.